beatbyNeVs take on sports fan entertainment as the New England Patriots defeat the Denver Broncos 16-3. And man, the Broncos let me down today. I had them upsetting the Patriots here and winning this game in Denver. The Denver Broncos offense did not show up for the second straight week, and I really don't know what's going on with this offense. I mean, you look at the components of this offense. Let's start with the quarterback, Trevor Siemian. And the guy's not bad, right? I don't want to pile on Trevor Siemian saying, oh, he's the reason, he sucks, he stinks. But the problem is, he's just not good enough, right? You found yourself a game manager who, I mean, if you want to be kind, maybe he's not a game manager, but that's really what he is. I mean, he's a guy that, yes, he can move the football down the field in some spurts. He can throw a deep ball from time to time, but the guy is just a game manager. He's not on the same level as the elite quarterbacks. We all know that is Tom Brady, who we saw today, who didn't play great today, but Tom Brady and Drew Brees on Matthew Stafford, not on that level. He's not on the mid-tier level with guys like Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, or Jameis Winston. He's right on the level of Sam Bradford and Alex Smith, and he needs help to win games. Even Joe Flacco, unfortunately, is in this level right now, and I might take Flacco over Siemian, especially for this football team. I think Flacco could do a lot for this football team. He's just not good enough, right? And when you don't have a running game, and right now they have no running game to save their lives, you really can't do anything offensively. And last week they scored 10. This week they scored 3. And the 10 they scored last week were all, I believe, in the second half of the game, if I can remember correctly. But they couldn't move the football down the field consistently at all last week, this week. In fact, they get down the field a little bit, but then they just stall in midfield. And it's so ugly right now. They're the kind of offense the Broncos are running. And we look back to last year when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, that was ugly, right? But they were winning games, and you can see Peyton Manning construct a drive or two in the middle of a game when they needed to most. It's a comeback against the Steelers in the playoff game, or, to score consistently against the Panthers, to score consistently against the Patriots. This year they couldn't do that. And again, this Broncos defense, they had the keys. They had the keys to slow down Tom Brady. They know how to do it. Their cornerbacks, Chris Harris and Aqib Talib, so good at slowing down these Patriots wide receivers that aren't very good. I mean, Julian Edelman had an okay day today, but Malcolm Mitchell was pretty much invisible. Chris Hogan is Chris Hogan. He's just a guy that can maybe catch a deep ball every now and then, but he's not someone you're afraid of, right? So these cornerbacks, they slow them down. There's no Gronk, for God's sake. They only held Tom freaking Brady, who's looking like the MVP at this point. They held him to no touchdowns, to under 200 yards, and a 50% completion percentage. The defense did its job. Yes, they didn't sack him more than 2 times today, but they did a good job. This Broncos offense, you got to point to them and you got to laugh. You got to say, ha, 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 y'all stunk, right? That's the reason why the Broncos lost today. Their running game is non-existent. They're trying to get Justin Forsett involved. Justin Forsett is done. Why do teams keep going on this Justin Forsett drug? The guy is finished. The Ravens freaking signed him to an extension, released him, brought him back, released him, and the Broncos are saying, well, maybe he's good. He's not. Okay, the guy's not good. Devontae Booker, whom is a rookie, I believe. I mean, I don't want to be too critical on him, but he hasn't been the guy we expected him to be. We said, okay, CJ Anderson is down. We expect Devontae Booker to do well. Let's pick him up in fantasy football and all this nonsense. He's not doing anything. Okay, so the run game's a disaster. Jordan Norwood, dear God, with 2 fumbles today, both of which were just awful. What is this guy doing? And how bad is this guy? I can't remember a player. Michael Thomas of the Saints did this year. 2 fumbles, that's a non-quarterback in just a horrible fashion. Michael Thomas did it, but at least Michael Thomas is good. Jordan Norwood and the rest of these wide receivers not named Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders of the Broncos, they're going to be horrible. Tight end is a joke. Virgil Green and Jeff Horman, however you pronounce his last name, they're so mediocre. Even they can't believe how mediocre they are. In fact, mediocre may even be an overstatement for these guys. I mean, I don't think they're even mediocre. I don't know if Virgil Green makes the New England Patriots, right? So, their tight ends stink. Their offensive line's bad. And you're watching this Broncos team fall out, and out of the playoffs. And shame on me in the middle of the season because I was starting to retract everything I said about this team going into the season. I said they were going to go 8-8. I said they were going to miss the playoffs. I said they were going to miss Peyton Manning in terms of being able, although he's not great, he was a game manager last year, but being able to construct some things. They're going to miss his leadership, his intangibles, and everything he brought to this football team from a football IQ and mentality standpoint and leadership standpoint. And that's proving to be true. The Broncos are in need of a leader. Trevor Siemian isn't that. The guy is a little punk, right? We like him, but he's not a leader. The running backs, you have a rookie running back right now, Demaryius Thomas. The guy, he's not a leader, for God's sake. He can't even show up when you need him to most. You throw him the football down the right sideline and you beg him. You just come down with this football. It touches his hands. He comes down with it, and the guy gets lit up by Devin McCourty. He loses the ball. He loses his mind. He goes unconscious, for God's sake. And again, he doesn't show up when you need him to most. Ever since that Tim Tebow miraculous touchdown, I don't know where this guy is in the clutch. I hate Demaryius Thomas in clutch situations. I absolutely hate him. In clutch games, in clutch situations, important games, important situations, I rarely see Demaryius Thomas do something. I mean, maybe in an occasional third down, he'll make a nice corner route, right? But he just, this guy's clown. Yeah, I mean, they don't have leaders offensively. Emmanuel Sanders is a good leader, but he's not enough. The offensive line, a lot of them are young, Tyson Breo and, some guys on there, but their offense, they can't do anything. They don't have anyone that's going to spark anything out of them. Gary Kubiak is Gary Kubiak. He won a Super Bowl last year, so I can't say too much, but we know he's not great. And now this Broncos team is falling out of the playoffs. And you look at their upcoming matchups. Let's look at that now, and then we'll get to the Patriots. I haven't forgotten about you guys, Patriots fans. Let's look at their next two matchups. So, you're talking about going to the Chiefs next week. And I know the Chiefs lost today to Tennessee, but so did you last week. Okay, so I don't know who's going to win that game, to be quite honest with you. But right now, I'm leaning Chiefs. This game is on Christmas Day, Christmas night even. And then, last game against the Raiders, I don't see any way. There's a way, but I don't see you guys winning both of these games. And you need to. 9-7 will not get you in the playoffs. The Titans and the Texans are... Well, the Texans won't be a problem for you because the guys beat them. But let's say the Titans win next week against the Jaguars and then lose to the Texans in week 17. They have the wild card over you. They have the tiebreaker over you. The Ravens, did you guys face the Ravens this year? I don't believe so. No, you didn't. But I believe the Ravens, they have very favorable tiebreakers in the simulations I've been running in terms of playoff machines and whatnot. So I think the Ravens have a better chance than you. The Titans have a better chance than you. The Miami Dolphins, who you also did not face this year, correct? Yeah, you didn't. But I also believe even they, I'd have to check, but I think even they have some favorable situations over you. So 9-7, I don't think you get in, and I think you're gonna go 9-7 because I don't see any way you guys win both of these games. In fact, you may lose both of them, and you may go back to the original 8-8 prediction of which I had you. This is a team that started 4-0 to start the season, and now we're talking about a possibility of this team finishing 0-4 and out of the playoffs. And wow. Although I had them going 8-8 before the season and missing the playoffs, I did not imagine it would be anything like this. Very unfortunate for the Denver Broncos. So now let's go back to the New England Patriots side of things. Some Patriots fans were upset with me today and this week because I picked the Patriots to lose this game. And one of my premises was that I don't believe this is a 14-2 year for the Patriots. And perhaps it is. I think they'll actually lose week 17 to the Dolphins. Maybe because with the Raiders, I think the Raiders actually have the tiebreakers of the Patriots. So that game would be meaningful for the Patriots, but the Patriots have had some troubles with the Dolphins in years past, and this is the best Dolphins team for years, right? So I think the Dolphins team is actually going to beat the Patriots week 17, but perhaps the Patriots go 14-2, perhaps they go 13-3, doesn't matter. They're going to be the number 1 or number 2 seed in the AFC, and they're the favorite, they're front runner to go to the Super Bowl. For me right now, I have them in the Super Bowl. I'm not sticking to that prediction. That's just a projection. That's just what I see right now. No one in the AFC is really solidifying themselves other than the Raiders, who are very good. And, they barely won today, but they won, right? And that's all I care about. So, and actually, I think they match up quite well to you. and your passing offense is a little inconsistent. Today was a horrible day. Honestly, it was. And then last week was very good against the Baltimore Ravens. So, this Patriots team is good. Breaking news. Everyone knows that. You like to see Dion Lewis come back today. He ran the ball pretty well. LeGarrette Blount, they ran the ball like 35 times combined. 130 yards, I believe, amongst them. So they ran the ball well. You like to see the running game. Got to get more people involved in the passing game. Defensively, very good game for your defense. And you're starting to see defensive end Trey Flowers really coming to his own. He had 2 sacks today. I believe he had a sack last week. I think he had 2 sacks about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Talking about now 7 sacks on the season for Trey Flowers after trading Chandler Jones before the season and trading Jamie Collins in the middle of this season. It's nice to see somebody stepping up. So, okay, maybe there was some method to Bill Belichick's madness, although I still wouldn't have traded those players. At least you're seeing somebody step up. Jabal Sheard is another player that had a sack today. So they're getting a pass rush again. So that's good for them defensively. Offensively, there is some questions. The question is with the Patriots team is just, sometimes this offense peaks and this defense, peaks, and then they're a little wavy. They win, right? They've won however many games now, 12 games. But whenever they catch the Raiders, which I'm seeing right now, but who knows, if they catch the Raiders in the AFC Championship game, can the Raiders take advantage of that? And we'll see. Right now, I don't know. I have the Patriots in, but I'm leaning Raiders as well, so we'll see. I'll come to a firm prediction before the playoffs. I guarantee you of that. But for right now, the Patriots are 12-2, and the Denver Broncos are 8-6, and in serious trouble of missing the playoffs. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Denver Broncos versus the New England Patriots 2016 NFL season matchup. What do you want? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out.